Hello, everybody. My first live here on Substack. I'm really excited. I thought I'd jump on just a few minutes early to explain what Monday Movement is just a little bit in more detail. So, my goal is to try to make it as accessible as possible. But with that being said, that can be kind of difficult online. There's always some limitations for some demographics and folks, but I'm going to do my best to try to give tips so that we can all move together as best we can. Um, with that said, I teach yoga and Pilates. So the movement is going to be based around yoga and mat Pilates since we don't have a reformer and apparatus, which is perfectly fine. As you can see, I'm just home. There's my little dog, Coco, and it doesn't need to be fancy. I'm going to be trying to wear form fitted clothes, which is hard for me sometimes. But you can wear whatever you want. And that's what's the best part about doing things at home or on your own time. This recording will also be, or this live session will also be recorded. So I will send that to you all. Moving forward past January, these recordings and these live sessions will be for my paid subscribers. But for the month of January, I thought it would be fun for everyone to be able to try out to see my style and to see if it resonates with you. I wrote a newsletter this morning, and within that newsletter, I offered 3 videos. Those 3 videos, I think the first one's the longest one. The other two are really short. And they're just sort of some fundamentals, some basics, the way I cue, the language I use. There is no one right way, and all of us teachers use different words and analogies and metaphors and different things to try to connect with students. So I feel like it's really important for people to understand um, just the way I view the body, how I look at things, and how I cue so that it actually makes sense. So I'll do my best on here, but if you haven't had a chance, which I'm assuming not because I just sent it this morning, go check out those videos. And even if you just listen to them, like in the car, I recorded, you can listen to the recordings just like my voice. Even that will familiarize you with the way that I teach. Today, for our movement, you really don't need anything, just a mat. Uh, if you have some limitations getting down all the way onto the ground, I would suggest having a chair next to you to help you get up and down. And you might be able to use the chair to do some of the stretches and the things that I'm offering today. Today's going to be very basic, nothing fancy, nothing crazy. We're just going to move a little for about 30 minutes and that's it. So if you haven't already, you can grab a mat. If you don't have a mat, just lay down on your or be prepared to lay down on the floor or have like a nice hard surface. I will say that despite sometimes the hard surface being hard, it is better to have a hard surface for yoga or mat Pilates, especially yoga. It's very difficult to get really stable on your feet when you're on really padded carpet or something like that. So it actually is better to be just like on a hard surface. I don't know what the weather is like where you are, but here it's a little chilly this morning. So as of right now, I have socks on. But when we start to do some standing poses, it is way better to have no socks on, just to have your bare feet. So you can not only see your feet, but also so that your feet can grip and not slide. So we'll get to our mat. So I'll give you a second to go jump to your mat and then we'll get started. There might be a little cameo from Coco as we go. Here she is, my sweet little girl. Duke, my Frenchie, he's in the other room. He's not invited because he's a little louder. But hopefully, Coco will just be our little mascot in the background. So, as an example, this is the chair that I have. It's just a basic chair. It doesn't need to be anything fancy or special. I'm going to set it off to the side for now. And then we'll get back to using the chair later. And I actually cranked my heater up so my house is kind of warm. So I'm going to take my socks off now. I'm so excited to move. So nice. And you'll see that just 30 minutes of moving, even if you're only able to do like the first 15 minutes, it makes such a big difference on how your body feels. All right, so let's just get started. You're going to start by placing your feet hip distance apart. And when we say hip distance, that's not this hip distance, inner hip, you can say. Have a soft bend to your knees. Roll the shoulders back a few times. Maybe roll them in the opposite direction now. And then bend your knees, rock back and forth on your feet. Just getting a sense of the ground of your body. And then eventually you're going to come into some stillness. Widen your toes like you're fanning them out before spreading them down and anchoring through the pad of the big toe and the second toe, that space right in between. Rotate your palms forward to help open up your chest. And let's start with a nice big exhale out through the mouth. And a nice big inhale through your nose. And again, a nice big exhale out your mouth. And now with a soft bend to the knees, take an inhale and reach your arms up above the head. And exhale, just let them come down. Two more times. Take an inhale. And exhale. Last one like that. Deep breath in. And a nice big exhale. Adding on, breath in, reach the arms up above the head. Grab your left wrist with your right hand and take a side bend over to the right. You're working on opening this outer left side, your rib cage through the arm. Take a nice big breath here again as you hold. And then coming back up to the center, reset with an inhale, both arms up. Grab the opposite wrist, side bend over to the left. And now we're opening the right side line of the rib cage of the outer arm. Holding here, deep breathing. Inhale through your nose. And a nice big exhale. Come back up through the center. Is that Kristen? Yay. Hi, Kristen. Take a big breath in. And then let your arms just come down by your sides. Let's step the feet wider here. You're going to bend your knees. And you're just kind of sort of swinging the arms side to side. Your legs have like a soft bend. You can let your hips move. And I'm letting my arms just kind of tap and hit my body as I swing, just moving some energy around. I'm not going to technically call this Qigong because I do not teach Qigong and I'm not versed in the practice, but I've done several classes and they do a move similar to this. And it just feels so good to get your body just moving, flowing, get all the things circulating around. So we'll do this for just a few more moments. And again, you're always breathing. I'll sound like a broken record, but deep breaths in and deep breaths out as you start to move your body. We'll go for a few more moments, just sweeping side to side, letting your arms kind of sweep and ricochet off of your body. Do a couple more. And then coming back to center. This time you're going to bend your knees with wide legs. Take an inhale. You'll turn your heels out. Take your arms out to a T. And now step your feet even a little bit wider. Here's where the chair comes in handy. If you have a hard time with balance, please use the chair. You can simply lean on the front of the chair and hold on. Otherwise, we're going to just be in the middle of the mat, squeezing the outer hips. Legs are nice and firm. Take a nice big breath in. You're going to turn your right foot slightly in. And then turn your left foot pointing towards the front of the mat, widen the legs again. If your arms get tired, take them to the hips. Our hips are nice and squared towards the screen. Try to firm the front of the left thigh as you push through the outer back right heel and the back buttock towards the heel. From here now, we'll take a bend to the left knee. So as you inhale, straighten the lift, and then as you exhale, you're going to bend into the right knee. From here, you'll inhale, straighten the left leg, and exhale, bend. We're going to do two more, really simple. Just inhale, lift the front of the thigh, firm the left leg, and exhale, sit into the left glute, lengthen the inner thigh. One more time. Inhale and exhale, you'll bend. And this time, let's hold. And again, if your arms get tired, you can always bring them to the hips. We're not trying to win a medal and like be, the best. You can always modify. This is just to help you feel good and get embodied, get awareness in your body, and move a little bit. From here, let's straighten the left leg. You're going to pivot the toes, adjust your feet, and then we're going to switch. So now the right foot's going to go forward. The left foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Hip bones are square forward. Outer hips are active. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to sink into the right leg. Inhale, pull the front of the right quad up. And exhale, lengthen inner thigh. Three more times. You're going to inhale, squeeze the right leg. Outer left hip is still on. And bending into the right knee. Two more times. Nice big breath in, just getting our legs nice and warm. Exhale to sink. Last one, breathe in. And then you'll exhale and sink into that right leg and hold. And my legs are actually shaking. I'm working hard in my legs here. So again, you could be holding onto your chair. Nice big breaths in, breathing laterally into the side body. Now straighten the right leg, pivot the toes. You'll bend the knees and hop your feet together. If the hop is too hard, just step your feet together. Walk out the legs a little bit, and then we're going to do it one more time. So standing yoga poses are such a great way to warm up the body. If you want to have some fun, you can even jump wide, or you could just step. It's totally up to you. So again, our feet are wide. My outer hips are pressing into the outer edges of my heels. You're going to turn the right foot slightly in, left foot forward again. And one more time, here we go. Drop into that left knee bending, trying to get that left buttock cheek to be working. As you straighten the leg, you're imagining the whole thigh pulling the kneecap up. And again, we sink and descend, and then straighten and lift. We've got two more tries. Inhale, lengthen the inner thigh to the inner knee. Exhale to straighten. Last time, we're going to sit down into the warrior two and hold for 3 breaths. Try to soften your jaw, your neck, even if your arms are out. And again, remember your lateral breathing wide into the side ribs. Good. One last breath in and out. And then you'll straighten your left leg, pivot the foot, switch the feet. So right foot now is to the front of the mat. My left hip came forward, so I'm going to draw it back again. And now here we go. Bend into the right knee and straighten. We have 3 more tries to bend and get length in that inner thigh. Nice work, you guys. 2 more times. And this is going to look different for everybody. It really depends on the opening, the space you have in the inner thighs. Good. Last time, we're going to come down and now we're going to hold. Holding here for 3 breaths. And again, if your arms get tired, just bring them onto the hips. Breathe wide again into the lateral side body. So lateral breath versus only vertical. Sometimes we're just breathing up and that just creates a little bit more tension in the neck than we desire. From here, you're going to straighten that right leg, turn the toes, hop the feet together, if that sounds fun to you. and then we'll march the legs out a little bit. All right. Now that we've got our legs warm, you might need a chair here, especially if your flexibility is not um, the greatest, which is okay. So, chair handy. Otherwise, you can have yoga blocks, or if you're nice and open, you can just take your hands to the ground. We're going to take our feet really wide again, arms out to the T. You're going to lift your chest. So, we're not just kind of hanging out. These are active postures. So, my legs are strong. I'm lifting through the midline. Take a nice big breath in. You're going to exhale, hinge at your thighs, and just bring your hands to your chair. You can even come onto your forearms. You have more flexibility. I have imaginary blocks here. You can put blocks down, or you can come all the way down to the ground. Wherever you are, I'm going to turn to the side. You want to try to keep your spine nice and long. We want to avoid stuff like this that just tugs at the back line. So even if you have to come up, that's not a problem. You can even go as high as like a table. It really doesn't matter. And then work your way down so that you can keep a flat back when you come all the way hands to the ground. Wherever you are, whether your hands are on a chair, on blocks, we're going to hold here for a few more breaths. And if this feels like work to you, good. It is. You're using your body. We are not just passively hanging out, trying to gain flexibility. Flexibility requires action and strength just as much as it requires ease and consistency. So from here, a nice big breath in. And now you're going to do your best to lift your hands evenly, come all the way up. And then again, you can hop your feet together, march out the legs a little bit. Let's do that one more time, and then we're going to add on a little bit to my favorite stretch to open the inner thighs. Your inner thighs are very important to open. So you can either step your feet apart, or if you want to hop, feel free to hop. Take your feet nice and wide, outer edges of the hips, push into the outer edges of the heels. You lift. Hi, Lauren. I love this. It's so fun. Okay, lift your chest. We're nice and tall, hinging at the hips. Hands are going to come to the ground, or your chair, or your blocks. Keeping a nice long spine now, you're going to shift the weight into the right leg. Try to balance the weight back onto the right knee. Into the right hip, so that the knee isn't forward. And it's not because that's wrong. It just gives a better stretch to the inner thigh on the opposite leg. And then you're simply going to switch and go the opposite way. So we should be feeling this in the inner thigh. You're still pushing through that outer right heel. And now let's just go side to side a few times. Nice big breaths in and out as you do so. Still keeping the neck and the jaw soft. We tend to carry so much effort and tension there. So try to relax that and let this feel good in your body. Activating the legs and just getting in some movement. Nice, you guys. One more time to each side, wherever you are. Even out. Going over to the right. And then over to the left. Very nice. Come back to the center. Lengthen out your spine. Press through those outer heels. Feel your butt turn on. And now arms come out and we lift with a flat spine. Hop the feet together or step them together. Nice work, you guys. All right. If you need a chair to help you get down onto the ground, by all means, but otherwise, in no fancy way, we're just going to come down. My goal is for these classes to be really accessible. It's not going to be like a crazy flow where you have to try to keep up. Um, that's fun sometimes, but and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just trying to get us to move and understand our bodies a little bit more deeply. Feel good. Okay, so you can either just plop down on your back, or with your knees bent, arms are reaching forward. You're going to start to articulate. So I'm going to exhale, start to scoop from my pelvis. And I'm thinking of first laying my sacrum behind my pelvis onto the mat first as I slowly come all the way down. Let me scoop forward. There we go. Hands are by the sides. I'm going to sweep my arms out to a T. Take your feet really wide now, wider than your hips with your knees still bent. On an inhalation, let me move my chair. You're going to take the knees and tip them to the left. Take your eyes and look to the right. Hold for a nice big breath in. As you do this, you're trying to keep your shoulders both down on the mat, your rib cage nice and wide, still using that lateral breath. As you exhale, gentle activation of your abs pulling inward to bring the knees back up. Head comes back to center. And then on an inhale, you'll take the knees to the opposite direction. I had a maneuver around my couch. Turn your eyes to the left. Take a few breaths here. Maybe you feel a stretch in the front of the left hip. Maybe it's across the chest and the arms. Maybe it just feels good for you to be here and it's not a super crazy stretch. I'm going to scoot away from my couch a little bit. My knees are hitting the couch. Okay, let's do that. Just some breath to movement, loosening up the hips. On an inhale, the knees are going to go to the left. As you exhale back to center, you're sort of massaging the back of your pelvis, your sacrum. Inhale, knees to the right. As you exhale, draw the knees back to center. And we're going to do a few more of these. If you'd like to move at your own pace or hold one side, by all means, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, we'll rock the knees side to side, one or two more rounds, depending on the pace of your breath. There's no rush. You want this to feel super good. So nice sometimes to just lay down on the ground and stretch your body. I love doing that. I think as adults, sometimes we don't do it enough. So even if you're just lying on your back right now, knees bent, that's even fabulous too. Great to release the low back if you've been feeling tight. Sometimes when you have low back tightness, the morning can be the most difficult time. I know at least that's how it was for me. So this is just a nice way to loosen up the body without causing too much strain or pressure. Last one to the right. And then draw the knees back up to center. Very good. Bring the knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Awesome. All right. Hands are going to come down by the sides, right by your sides, and your palms are pushing down. We're going to continue on with some spinal articulation to activate the back line of the legs and to further lengthen out the spine, activate the core a little bit. Roll the shoulders back so your arms are actively pressing. You'll feel your triceps on as you do this. Feet are hip distance, and you're going to firmly press the feet into the ground. On an exhale, you're going to tilt the pelvis, your pubic bone tips up towards your face as you slowly start to peel your spine off the mat, lengthening through the front of the thighs. Again, shoulders roll back, palms push down. Actively press through your feet and lift your hamstrings up to the bones. The muscles in the backs of the thighs, your glutes, your booty is very active. Take a breath in here, hold. And then as you exhale, draw the navel in. Start to slowly roll down, one bone at a time, taking the tailbone down and releasing it fully to the ground. There's a slight lift in the low back. We'll do that again. Take an inhale. As you exhale, imprint the low back into the mat as the navel sinks in and the pubic bone tips up, pushing the feet into the ground, backs of the legs turn on, widen through the front of the chest still here, palms press down. Feel your triceps activate. The whole body is on. However, your neck is soft, your throat is soft. Inhale and exhale, start to lower all the way back down. Again, breathe in. As you exhale, scoop and lift, start to roll the hips off the mat. Press through the palms, lift, lengthen the fronts of the thighs. Try to avoid them splitting open. They're rotating inward through the inner line of the knee. And then you exhale, lowering all the way back down. Very nice, you guys. One more time. Take a breath in. As you exhale, scoop, activate the glutes, feel the backs of the legs turn on, lift the hips. Good. Now, if you want to look with your eyes, it's always nice. And notice if your hips are even. Is one bone higher than the other? So today we're just going to look and try to focus. It's hard for me too to get both hips even. I think I've done a good job here. My hips are even. Take a breath in, and now you're going to soften from the upper rib cage to lower down, and then the middle, then the lower back, then the tailbone. Nice big breath in and out. Good job, you guys. Let's lift right leg to tabletop, then left leg to tabletop. If this feels challenging to have both legs up at one time, just take one leg down. Otherwise, both legs are up and your feet are active. So whether I'm just showing you my feet, whether they're flexed or pointed, I don't care, but I want your feet active. And also, it's helpful to look at your angle. A lot of times we're like this or we're like this. And really, to get the most bang for your buck, you want that 90 degree angle. As soon as you do that, this is challenging your low abdomen to activate. So just right here, we're going to practice breathing, fundamentals of ab work, and get these low abs to start to turn on. So hands can be by the sides. If it's helpful to have your hand on your belly, please do that. We're going to take an inhale breath. As you exhale, you're going to imagine the navel sinking in and knitting into the body. Now, that doesn't mean your whole pelvis is going to move and smash down onto the mat. So that tiny little space is absolutely okay. And when I ask you to exhale, I'm asking you to move the muscles, not the bones. Other times, like in that articulation, we can move the pelvis. But for right now, pelvis stays still, and we're just activating these low abs. Let's try one more time. Deep breath in. And you exhale, activate the abs. It just feels like you're securing and holding the legs in this space with the low abs. Starting with some marches now. On an exhalation, the right leg is going to tap down. You're still keeping that L shape, and then you'll lift the right leg up. Alternating legs on the exhale, left leg goes down, and inhale, bring it up. Continuing, exhale as the toe taps the ground. Inhale to lift. Exhale, left leg. And right now, just for you guys to know, my body is shaking because I'm holding and I'm tucking my lower abdominals in as I'm mindfully moving. And you'll notice I'm going nice and slow. I'm not like flinging my legs around. And it's not, again, that that's not correct, but before we go quick, we have to master the slow. And oftentimes with my clients, I find that when we slow things down, we actually get way deeper into the connection and work way more efficiently. So it's not, again, about one being right or wrong. It's about working at a level that you can sustain so that we're not just, flaring up old muscle patterns instead of learning new ones. One more time on each side. You're exhaling to lower, inhaling to lift. One more to the left. And now bring the knees together and draw them into the chest. So again, you could have been doing that one leg at a time as a modification if both legs up at the same time was too challenging. All right, let's add on a little bit more now. So legs are going to come back into that tabletop position. And now you're going to take your arms up, bend the elbows, and take them behind the head. You're going to take your elbows and sweep them forward so you can see them in your peripheral vision. Your head is still relaxed. I want you to feel this length from the outer arm all the way through the elbow. And that is your tricep. And your tricep is going to now help hold your head up. So take an inhale breath. As you exhale, the low abs sink in, and now we add a little head and chest lift. Hold here for a second. Notice if your tailbone wanted to tuck and move, take it back down to neutral. Try to soften your throat and neck. Let your arms help hold your head up so you're not shoving your neck and chest head forward. Inhale, lower the head back, and exhale, lift. We're going to do 5 more. Nice, deep, slow, steady movement. Again, can you guys see me shaking? Inhale, head back, and exhale to sink and lift. The softer your neck is, the more ease you have in the throat, the deeper the abdominal work is going to be, guys. When your neck is activated and all stressed out, it robs the effort from the low abs. Just food for thought, all right? We have three more. Exhaling to lift for three, exhaling to lift for two. One more time, we exhale to lift and hold. You can either hold here or you can now play with the legs. Let's do one round. Take a breath in, exhale, lower the right leg. Inhale, exhale, lower the left leg. Inhale, exhale, lower the head, draw the knees into the chest. Nice job, guys. So, again, just some basic, easy movement today to wake up and activate your body. All right, grab behind your thighs, rock up. We're going to turn onto our side. We're almost done here, just a few more minutes. We're going to finish with doing a little activation of the sideline. We'll twist it out, and then I'll send you on your way for your Monday. So you're going to come down onto your left elbow. Your left knee is bent to stabilize you, and your right leg is nice and strong. Now, notice if you're feeling like a little lax and lazy, that's fine if you're watching TV, but we're exercising. So you're going to push through that left arm, roll the shoulder back, inhale into that rib cage, nice and wide, and then reach through your right leg nice and strongly. Again, point the toes so your whole leg is active. You're going to tap the ground and lift, tap and lift. And so this is going to be a move we'll end up doing often. So on this first video, let's pay attention to the placement of your hip. You're going to notice that as I'm doing this, my hip isn't moving. I'm not doing like, you know, like some extensive thing. It's very stable and solid. Rib cage, abs lengthened, hip is in place. And now I'm simply moving from that space. Nothing else moves. And boy, do I feel the burn in my outer hip. Here's a tip. If you're doing a move like this and you're feeling it in the front, in the hip flexor, again, it's not that it's wrong, but if what we're trying to do is target the booty, then that's not your booty. And it's because the hip is rolling back. So roll that hip point forward and be sure you're feeling it in the backside of the leg. I definitely am. Let's go for five. Lifting four, three, two, one, and bend the knee to stack on top of the opposite leg. You're going to keep the heels clicked together. Lift the right leg. Inhale to clamp it down and exhale to open. And again, we're just working very simply here. And what you're trying to avoid is the hips moving around. So you're simply closing the right leg down, opening the right leg up. That's the only thing that's moving. Be mindful of this left shoulder. Did she get a little lazy? Let's press into that left shoulder as you continue to close the inner right knee down and exhale, open for four, three, two, last one. Let's put those two moves together today. So you're going to inhale, close the knee, exhale, open, and then extend the right leg out. My hip is still forward. Bend the right knee, heels click, close the right knee down. If that's too intense, just keep with the clams. Open, extend, bend, and close down. Let's try one more. Open, extend, bend, and close it down. Excellent job, guys. Go ahead and lift up. And we're just going to switch to the other side. Right arm is down. And again, we're not lazy. You're pushing through this right, girl. Left hip bone is forward. I'm on that big hip bone on the side of your leg, nice and even, pelvis stacked. Point your toe, leg is nice and active. Laterally lift and breathe into the rib cage so you can feel these abs. And now you tap and lift. And again, I don't care how big the movement is. What we're working on today is not like flinging our whole body around like this. So we're nice and firm. We've isolated the movement. It's just in this outer hip, and you're lifting and lowering the leg. Right shoulder is away from the ear, and we'll do 10 from here. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee. Left knee comes down, heels are glued together, and exhale, lift. You inhale to lower, check in on your alignment, exhale, lift. And remember, it's not about the quantity, it's the quality of your movement, what you're trying to understand. So, yes, we're moving here to build strength, flexibility, and all that stuff. But most importantly, I want you guys to have awareness of your body. So, 5 more here. You're activating the outer hip. Nothing else is moving, just that left leg clamming down and opening up for 3, 2, and now we're going to add those 2 moves together. You close the knee down, lift the knee, extend the leg. Watch this hip doesn't move. Bend the knee, close it back down again. Open the leg, extend, reach, bend, click the heels, close the knee back down. Last one, you're going to lift, extend, bend, and close it down. Excellent work, guys. Go ahead and sit up. If it's hard for you to sit on the ground, grab your chair and you can sit on a chair. We're going to sit cross-legged. You can always sit up on a block too. Arms come to the sides. Take a breath in. As you exhale, left hand comes to right knee. You're going to twist. But now think about your shoulders here as you're twisting. Sometimes we twist and shrink like this. I want you to stay nice and tall as you twist. Tall as you twist. And then come back to center. Breathe in. And exhale, twist to the left. And again, you're not coiling down. I want you to stay nice and tall. Both the chests lift up. Spine is nice and tall. Twisting. Good. And then come back to center. Change the crossings of your legs. And we're going to do one more stretch. Take a breath in, just kind of how we started. And exhale, right hand comes down. And you're going to side bend. And then inhale, lift up. And you're simply going to tick the opposite way. So today was just like a really basic sort of intro to moving. We did a little bit of yoga. We did a little bit of mat Pilates, some fundamentals, some basics. Each week I'll be doing something a little bit different. And I'll be theming it to those videos that I sent in the email. So each month I'll also be targeting a different part of the body. And we'll be diving a little bit deeper into that. So starting in February, we'll begin at the feet. So the exercises will have something to do with the feet, a little emphasis before we continue on, or maybe my cues that day are going to be solely for the feet so that we can really practice the stuff that's in the educational videos. My goal is really to teach you guys how to be in your bodies nice and comfortably. Come back up to the center, turn on to hands and knees. And now we're going to finish with a downward facing dog. If this is too much for you, you can always use a chair. So let's see. Here's a down dog. You're going to take your toes wide, lift the hips, and send them back. If you know what a down dog is, I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to show the people that are less familiar. So if down dog is really hard for you, a great modification is just this. Hands on the chair, legs nice and straight, and you're going to do your best to push back. Right? You could do this on a table, and then maybe you let your arms slide forward and let the chest start to dip down. What you're trying to do is maintain the shoulders away from the ears, reaching through the outer line of the arms, lengthen through the backs of the legs, draw the low abdominals in to protect that low back. Stay for one more big breath. Wherever you are, you're going to walk your hands towards your feet. Even if you're on your chair, you can see what I'm doing here. And then from here, you'll take an exhalation as you slowly start to roll up to stand. One more time, take a nice big breath in, reach the arms up, look up, and then as you exhale, hands come to the heart center. And we're done. That's it, guys. Thanks, girls. Hi, Callie and Lisa and Lauren and Kristen. That was so fun. So just some basics. We'll be on again next week, and then Thursday night at 8:30, I'm going to be doing just a short meditation, mindfulness, a guided breath practice, and these guided meditations are going to be focused on body awareness. So I hope you'll join me then. And if you can't join me, I'll be sending out the recordings. I hope you guys have a fabulous Monday. Yay. Thanks, Lauren. I'm so glad you enjoyed. I'll see you guys soon. All right, guys. Happy Monday.